Stop scrolling. Take one breath. Now tell me, are you running towards your life or away from it? Because day 3 of our Hanuman Chalisa journey is going to ask you to choose. If day 1 was about remembering who you are and day 2 was about finding purpose in service, then today is about something even greater, the courage to live it. Because it's one thing to know your strength and it's another to use it with integrity when the world tests you. Tulsidas writes, Mahabir Bikram Bajrangi Kumate Nivar Sumatike Sangi. You are the great hero, mighty as the thunderbolt. You remove evil tendencies and stand beside the wise and good. That opening word, Mahabir, means the great warrior, but not just a fighter, a protector. In today's language, we might call Hanuman not a hero, but a guardian. Because his power didn't destroy, it defended. His strength never came from anger, it came from clarity. Now let's unpack it. The word Bikram means valor, courage in action, and Bajrangi from Vajra, Indra's thunderbolt weapon, means one whose resolve is unbreakable. So when Tulsidas calls him Mahabir Bikram Bajrangi, he is saying Hanuman's courage isn't about being fearless. It's about being faithful even when fear is loud. Now think about that. He faced demons, armies, oceans, but his real battle was always inside. Doubt, ego, anger. And every time he won. Not by fighting harder, but by remembering better. Now, the second line, Kumati Nivar Sumatike Sangi. It means you remove evil or negative thoughts and stay in the company of wisdom and goodness. So this verse is not about external enemies, it's about inner ones. About the war between Kumati, which is wrong thinking, and Sumati, which is the right thinking. And Hanuman is that force within us that clears the fog when our mind starts turning against us. There is a moment in Ramayana that captures this beautifully. When Hanuman returns from Lanka after finding Sita, Rama asks him softly, Hanuman, how did you cross the vast ocean? Hanuman bows and says with respect, by your grace, my lord, when I remember you, I flew. When I forgot, I fell. That's it. That's the secret. Remembering the truth within you. That's courage. Forgetting it, that's fear. And maybe that's the battle we all fight every single day. Not with demons or armies, but with our own thoughts. Let me tell you a story. Okay, so a friend of mine, let's call her Neha. Okay, once told me about a toughest decision of her life. She had spent 8 years in a job that slowly chipped away at her peace. Great salary, great title, zero joy. She wanted to quit and start something of her own, but fear kept whispering, what if I fail? 4 months, she lived with that battle, Kumati versus Sumati. And then, one morning, she sat by her window, whispered to herself, I know what I have to do, and sent her resignation. When I asked her what changed, she said, I realized I had been praying for clarity, but what I really needed was courage. That's Hanuman, the one who removes the thoughts that paralyzes you and walks beside the thoughts that frees you. See, Kumati is not just negativity. It's anything that makes you small, overthinking, guilt, self-doubt, comparison, and Sumati is wise thinking, is what expands you, like trust, purpose, compassion, discipline. So when you chant this verse, you're not asking for strength to fight others. You are asking for strength to fight yourself, your smaller self, your reactive self, your scared self. And that's real bravery. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action despite fear. So when Tulsidas wrote Mahabir Bikram Bajrangi, he wasn't describing a mythic superhero. He was describing a mirror, one that reflects that hero in each of us, waiting to act, to speak, to choose rightly. So let's bring this verse into today. Maybe your battle isn't on a battlefield. Maybe it's at work when doing the right thing might make you unpopular. Maybe it's in your home where forgiveness feels harder than anger. Maybe it's in your own head where every morning you fight to believe in yourself again. That's your Lanka. That's your battlefield. And this verse is your armor. Say it with me slowly. Mahabir Bikram Bajrangi Kumati Nivar Sumatike Sangi. Feel how it lands. Firm, grounded, alive. This isn't a chant of noise, it's a chant of remembrance. You're calling for the part of you that stands tall when everything around you is shaken. And here is something to reflect on today. When was the last time you did something brave, not loud, but honest? When was the last time you silenced a negative thought by acting on a positive one? That's Hanuman's way. Destroy Kumati, the unhelpful thought, and stay with Sumati, the wise one. Because when you do, your inner thunderbolt, your Vajra, lights up. Because tomorrow we are going to move to the next verse, the one where Hanuman's courage becomes compassion and his strength become light for others. So let today's verse settle today. Until then, remember this. Bravery isn't about never being scared. It's about remembering who walks beside you when you are. One verse a day, one quality to awaken, one step closer to truth. Jai Hanuman.